I just forget, you get busy. So.
Yeah, we do. We are in the heart of the Gulch. My name is Tony Mendoza. We're still here at CMA Fest 2025, and we got Mary Sarah in the building.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm elated right now. I just finished on the spotlight stage here at CMA Fest, and it was just better than I could have imagined, to be honest.
Well, you're the one to say, when you were saying thank you, you had a line out the door for your signing?
I did. I know. I didn't. I really, I just feel like as an artist, you don't want to expect all the things, like, you don't get your hopes up. Just like anything in life, you're just like, nah, calm down. We'll see how it goes, But I was very excited to have a meet and greet again because I haven't done one in forever. And it was funny because when I walked out, when I looked out, I didn't see anybody. And I thought the line that was my line was another person's line. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, no, these are people waiting for you. And then they kept telling me, they were like, this is the longest line we've seen for the spotlight stage. And I was like, literally, like, I know. So my heart is so full right now.
Mommy still got it.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, you were talking about CMA Fest last year.
Yeah.
And we talked about how iconic Whiskey Jam is in the whole grand scheme of CMA and not outside of CMA Fest too.
Yeah.
So, but this is your first on an official CMA stage, right?
So not first time. So I've been in Nashville since I was 17. So I've been here for 13 years. So I've done a lot. Like when I was on The Voice, I ended up doing tons of stuff with CMA and everything like that. It's just been a minute.
You also created a podcast.
I did.
Yes, the Baby Mama podcast.
Yes, you can find it on Spotify.
How hard is that compared to making music? Creating a podcast style content versus creating creative musical content?
That's such an interesting question. It's definitely different because, it was my first time ever doing a podcast. So I had people like filming and helping me out there, but it was really up to me to formulate the questions for everything and really like figure out storyline, research into the artist that I was bringing on. So definitely a little more, I think with like writing and stuff, like I'm living my life and writing about it. I'm not having to like research about my life or anything. So there's a lot more of that with it, which I thoroughly enjoyed because I learned so much about people that I had known, but didn't necessarily know their stories or, some of the deeper things that when you start to research, you're like, oh my gosh, I did that. Like, that's so cool. And then you get to actually sit and talk with them about it and then hear their experiences. And specifically with the Baby Mama podcast, me being a mom and hearing other moms talk about what it was like to become a mom for the first time. And some of those things that you're like, you all agree on that you were so excited about, but also the things that you were terrified about. And you're like, oh my God, you had that too? Oh my God, we can relate to. Like, so it was just as much like cup filling for me as, it was for others, I think.
Well,
so.
You think about, you learned what it was like to be on the other side of the mic.
I did.
And, what would you tell the people that are watching this right now, the challenges behind doing what I do every day, speaking to every artist, sometimes up to 20 artists in a day?
Oh my gosh.
How challenging is it that you learned from doing a podcast and everything?
Well, the challenging part, the biggest, I think, part about it is you never know what someone's going to be like.
Yeah.
And so you're prepared, you show up prepared with questions, things like that, but you just never know what you're going to get, and I want to believe everybody's just happy-go-lucky and kind all the time, but you just never know. And so you have to really be able to kind of be like a chameleon and like change within that to make someone else feel comfortable and realize and I think for me the part was stepping aside going, this isn't about me, this is about someone else. I've done the artist thing, I was on the other side of it, but I don't know, I think the hardest part is like you never know what you're gonna get, so it's just like you got to be ready for anything.
Absolutely everything, because sometimes personalities do not click.
Exactly.
And it's so weird because it's like you think that you can, as a chameleon, you can connect with everyone anytime.
Yeah.
But then there really are personalities that I've learned where I can tell the interview's going. I'm like, yeah, he's not in it. I'm not in it.
Yeah.
Keep going. But talk to me about writing music. And how do you know when you get into the zone? Because you got a lot of upcoming music coming up, but you're in the writer's room. You're in the recording studio right now working on it.
I am.
But what's it like to put that process on a pen and paper?
Y'all, it's like it to me. And lately I've just realized, I go to therapy, which I love. Highly recommend for anybody. But I think it truly is, a lot of people would say like, oh, songwriting's therapy, you're writing your feelings out and everything, but I kid you not, like that is the real truth of it all. And so I have just enjoyed whether it's joyful things in my life, or sad things. I just went through a heartbreak not long ago, so I'm writing a lot about that. And the thing about it is like traditional therapy, when you go, you got like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour with somebody talking about everything of your life. With songwriting, you go in and you're like, okay, I have these ideas, probably stemming from heartbreak or whatever it is. And you have to sit down and you have to process that maybe problem or difficulty in your life for like 3 to 4 hours. You're trying to figure out from every perspective and everything, from seeing it from every side, because you want to write a great song. So you can always come from just your perspective, but what's great about also the other songwriters in the room, which I adore my songwriting friends. I adore songwriters in general. But it's great to have their perspective too, because then it opens my eyes sometimes on something maybe I was struggling with. They're like, have you ever looked at it from this standpoint? And I'm like, oh, now I feel free.
I love that. You're not going to give me any titles, are you? You're going to stay away from that.
Oh, yeah. Right now I have to make a decision, which I think sometimes can be difficult as an artist, especially when you just want to give your fans everything. Right now, like, the name of the game in music is releasing singles, but like deep down, the traditionalist in me just wants to like put an album together and
full
like,
body of work,
do the whole thing, but I've got a team of people that are like, hey, we'll get there, we'll do that at some point. Because really I've been writing so much stuff that I love that I just can't wait to get out there. I mean, I've been here for 13 years and this has been the most connected to my songwriting I have felt since being here. So,
I think that's important because people want to hear new music. And that was actually one thing that I had on my card. I was like, where the heck is your new music?
I know.
But I know that it's cooking, right? You had one thing cooking,
yeah.
And now you're cooking the creative side of things.
Yes, we did some releases last year, which were really great and kind of just brought me back onto the radar, just to go, okay, cool, she's still doing music. That's great. So it's been really, really good, but we haven't, it's just been a minute here in the beginning of this year. So I'm just hoping we get it figured out and out there for everyone to hear.
How important are song titles in music?
They seem to be more important these days, and it's really kind of funny because I wonder if it affects people like when writing in the room. It doesn't necessarily me, because I'm like, if I need to have a long song title, I'm okay with that. But these days it's very cool to have like a one-word title, or
It's true. And the thing, I think because Spotify is so much like necessary right now, where everyone is trying to make sure that they get their song trending on all the different platforms, that if you have a catchy name, it's going to work the best. Now, speaking of which, I want to play a game real quick. Right there, you have a spin the wheel.
Okay. Do I need to
I want you to spin the wheel here, and I'll hold your mic, and then let's see what question you get.
Your most memorable
hate comment on social media. Your most memorable hate comment in social media. Here, I'll grab it.
It's okay. I'll set it down. All right, first let me say, I'm very, very blessed. Honestly, I have not had a lot of hate, and I'm grateful for it. Also, though, when I do, I'm like, nope, not looking at that, because I don't think it's good for my brain. I think I've really leaned into the fact that not everyone will love you, and that's okay. But I'm trying to think of like the most memorable. So I put a teaser of a song out called Dodged a Bullet. And I've had a lot of guys be like, just very angsty that I'm being angsty towards men. And I'm like, okay, calm down. It'll be all right. You'll be okay. And like, they're like, oh, he, you dodged a bullet, but he, got the better half of the, or like things like that.
Do you intimidate men?
I think I do. Yeah. I'm very strong and independent and very upfront. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a strong, independent woman.
Yeah, I love it.
Or mom, I should say.
Thank you.
I think that's the double whammy here. You're not only intimidating from looking attractive and amazing, you're a mom, so you have all the things ready to go. You have the one-liners ready. Don't do that.
I know. Literally, I think it's like the kind of the image of a mom too, that moms are just like always prepared. They always have the snacks. They always have the, so that's also intimidating. I feel like it makes people look at me and go, oh, like she has wisdom or something,
100%.
Which I'm like, that's not always true, but you're right. I'm pretty smart.
Well, let's do one more spin the wheel.
Yeah, I love
it. And then I will leave you with my last two questions.
Perfect.
Wildest fan experience. I love this question.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to think hard because I haven't done like a lot of like, this was my first meet and greet in a long time. And so I'm trying to think. I thank you. Thank you so much. Let me think about it. Wildest fan experience. You know, I think the thing that shocks me the most with some fans is how touchy-feely they can get.
Yes. No, not only touchy-feely. Also, we're talking about publicists.
I know. And you're just like, you know, in general, like no matter what, I'm like, I don't know where you get the confidence to do such a thing, like, or be that, you know what I mean? I'm like, I would not feel comfortable, and I'm a strong, confident, independent, but you know, like, so, you know, I've had as a female, I feel like I've had a little bit of that. Yeah.
I think it's because we feel as fans that we know you.
Yeah.
And we make these ideas of your songs and the way you're living your life in our minds. So when we meet you in person, what we're doing is we're actually just talking, you know, we feel like we know you already with your music.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely
it
makes sense.
Kind of crazy. Now, my last two questions, and my first one is, so imposter syndrome happens to everyone, whether it's a mom and or a musician or anyone out there.
Yeah.
But you have to find a way to keep on going, put one foot in front of the other and keep on going on and not let that little voice in the back of your head tear you down.
Yep.
What mechanisms do you do in your daily life to not let imposter syndrome affect you? And what pieces of advice can you give someone that's watching this?
My daughter brings me back down to earth all the time. Big shout out to my daughter because I don't know if I could, you know, she reminds me why I do what I do, why I love it, why I want to be a good example for her. So, you know, I think I struggled with imposter syndrome early on in my career a lot. But then when I had my daughter, I feel like the game changed, where I like know deep down what I'm meant to do and where I'm supposed to be. And now I just am who I am. And there's no,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think a lot of people are like, you know, young people are afraid to have kids these days and stuff. But like, man, I got pregnant at 24. I had her at 25. And she changed my life for the better. And I think that's what kids do if you allow them to. And so yeah, that was a whole game changer for me with like that, because I think I did struggle a lot with imposter syndrome before that. It was, and I think I needed a reason to do what I do aside from myself too. It felt very selfish, and I know like it's a good thing to have confidence and everything like that. But it just was one of those things that it was like, oh, I now have you to do this for, like,
You're
not just
right.
myself, you know? So I struggled with that for a long time, I think. And then it just was like a game changer for me.
Game changer is important. Now, my last question, 2025, we're filming this in the middle of CMA Fest.
Yeah.
So what can the fans expect by the end of 2025 and top of 2026?
Well, I am working my little booty off to get some songs out into the world. So hopefully maybe by the end of the year, we'll have something to you, or maybe just the start of next year. We're going to be playing shows when they come along and everything like that. But I'm just working my butt off. Know that we are going to get you guys some stuff as soon as we can. I have such a great team and I'm very excited. So I'm always on social media. I post all the time. So if you want to follow with me, just follow Mary Sarah Music practically on everything. Sarah with an H. But yeah, there's really, really good things. Hopefully more shows and everything to come at the end of this year into next.
Well, I'm excited for that. I'm very happy to got to meet you.
Thank
Not only get to
you.
meet you, I feel like I made a friend, and
I
definitely
do too.
it was such a fun time seeing you grow, and it's going to be even better to see where you go from here.
Thank you so much.
My name is Tony Mendoza. We're still here in the heart of the Gulch, and I will see you guys next time. See y'all later.